Chance to meet the current players? I mean, recruiting is a huge part this time of year, obviously. But
Oh yeah.
the current team, like, I guess, what are your impressions of the current guys?
I'm impressed. I mean, sometimes when you take over a situation, you worry, all right, why are you taking it over? Certainly, you guys are aware we could use some more depth.
Yeah.
But the guys are our kind of guys, and obviously we're just getting to learn them and learn about them and spend time with them and build relationships. We're big into relationships. You get to know these guys on and off the court, talking about basketball, beyond basketball. I could be more impressed with the character. We're used to recruiting guys of high character. That's going to be a huge thing for us going forward. The guys who want to come in this program, high character, love the gym, love the process. They got to love working. And so far, my impression of these guys is they fit in perfectly to our vision there.
I don't know if there are many coaches who can say they've worked with Coach Knight and Coach Krzyzewski.
Yeah.
Like, how does that mold you? When you were younger in your career, when you did that too, like, how does that mold you maybe into the?
Yeah, I mean, to the best, if not the best. So I've been very fortunate, and they have a lot of similarities in terms of their competitive drive. Coach Knight, Coach K, maybe they had different ways of doing it at times, but I learned a lot of basketball from Coach Knight. For that to be my foundation, who I thought was an encyclopedia of X and O's and basketball, I took in so much. And then 9 years with Coach K, you learn so much about basketball, but communicating with players, team building, he is so good along those lines. That's why I always thought he was the perfect guy for USA basketball. He can bring personalities. And Coach Holtman, I've worked for Coach K and now Coach Holtman. He reminds me a lot of Coach K. His ability to communicate at a high level, connect with everybody in the room, 1 through 12, or how many players you've got, get them to buy in to the team vision. Reminds me a lot of Coach K that way. So.
Greg Baldwin first started the job. Did you know that he was going to be interested in bringing all 3 assistant coaches over?
He once it got to a certain point, he communicated well with us that, hey, this is brewing. Just want to let you know. I was confident he would. He's just that kind of man. I think in college basketball today, when a coach jumps positions or perceived levels, like, does the staff stay? He knows our staff. We work great together. He thinks it can work anywhere, and we believe so. And he's not a guy that's going to let anyone hang. I think it's really commendable what he's done. The fact that all these guys, he believes in all of our staff to step in at Ohio State and still achieve at a high level like we were before. I think it's really commendable. I don't think you always see that in college basketball today. So.
How big is that continuity for you guys as coaches to kind of all come here together into something new?
Yeah, I think it's very important. I just touched on it. I mean, you talk about hitting the ground running. When you get to a new school, I mean, it's that much easier to do so when you already know who you're working with. You already know kind of what Coach Holtman expects, and everyone on staff knows what to expect. So it's making it a lot more seamless.
Do you anticipate recruiting being any different? Do you think Ohio State will open more doors, or is it pretty much the same given Butler's success over the past?
I think so. Just like Coach Holtman, I mean, you wouldn't believe the amount of opportunities he's passed on the last few years, high major jobs, and Ohio State was a different beast, and I think part of that is us realizing also in recruiting, like, the name carries a lot of weight. I think it's a top 10 school and certainly program and in the country. So we're recruiting at a pretty high level already, but there's no doubt in our mind that we can get involved with more guys. And I can see that already. We can start touching base with certain recruits at different times already since we've been here, and it carries a lot of weight to put Ohio State behind you. So.
How do you prioritize everything? You guys can now contact 2019s. I mean, not just with recruiting, but I mean, we're here in June. You guys are at a new location. How do you try and put things 1 to 10 on a list of things you guys have to do?
It's busy. We love what we do, fortunately, so we don't mind being busy. Our families aren't here right now, which helps as well. You're not juggling, hey, getting to this basketball game or getting back home for a minute. So we'll be, we're very well connected already. We'll be spending a ton of time in the office, but the time for our guys is really pivotal. We don't want to lose sight. Hey, we know recruiting is the lifeblood. We got to do it and do it at a high level, but spending time with the guys is definitely a priority. Building those relationships. We're new to Ohio State. We're new to them. Like breaking down those barriers, getting to know those guys. We're big-time relationship guys. Those guys are going to see how much Coach Holtman, our whole staff, really cares about them. Not just as players, but as people. I think every coach does that to a certain extent. We really do that. I could be more impressed with Coach Holtman over this past year, how much of an emphasis he does on that. So spend time with the guys is the first priority. After that, learn Ohio State, recruit who we can recruit. That all kind of falls in line.